Welcome to Prairie Mosaic, a patchwork of stories about the arts, culture, and history in our region.
Hi, I'm Matt O'Lean.
And I'm Barb Gravel. On this edition of Prairie Mosaic, we'll meet this year's Poetry Out Loud champion, visit a regional museum, and meet a musician who expresses herself through song lyrics. On Shearing Day, people come from far and wide to Joan Ellison's sheep farm to help skirt fleeces, trim hooves, and feed lambs. After 40 years, Joan's passion can still be felt in the haiku she writes about daily life on a small Minnesota farm.
I'm Joni Ellison, and we're at our farm in Pelican Rapids. We raise sheep and good times. Today we're shearing sheep. We have 36 sheep in the barn plus 6 lambs. And we shear them in December, January because we want the lambs to be able to get to their mom's udders. And with 6 inches of fleece, it's really hard. Every year, when it's time to shear, I send out an email and I say, anybody want to have an adventure today? We're going to shear sheep. You can do all kinds of different jobs. You can skirt fleeces, you can give shots, you can wrestle sheep, you can haul fleeces. And we've been doing this for 40 years. I think people come to our farm for fiber days and for things like shearing because they really love making things. And they really love learning things. And this is a place where they can come and learn about the sheep. They can get ideas for projects to work on in the future. They can share their enthusiasm with other people. It's just a really fun day. People come from all over. I mean, we've had people come from Western North Dakota, we've had people come from the Twin Cities, we've had people come just from all over the state. We do this because my folks gave me a spinning wheel about 50 years ago, and I learned how to spin, and we moved to Pelican Rapids, and the store that I bought my wool from for spinning closed. And we went, oh, what are we going to do? That was before the internet, you know, I didn't know any place to get wool. So when I was having my second daughter, I was in the hospital, and Dave brought me 2 books instead of flowers or candy or something like that. He brought me 2 books about raising sheep. And so we've been raising sheep ever since. Our sheep are sort of Heinz 57 sheep. My ewes are all different backgrounds, but the rams I buy specifically for what they give me. And what the Cornwall rams give me is shorter sheep and really fine, crimpy wool that'll be spun into something really nice. And when the shear comes, we trim their hooves, and we only do that a couple times a year, and then we'll give them their vaccinations. And we vaccinate them and we shear them at this time of year because their lambs will be here in a week or 2, and their lambs will have those antibodies from their mom's vaccination. So we can vaccinate the lambs right now, and then 6 weeks after they're born, we'll give them their second vaccination. Our shearer is Tom Reinert, and he can shear a sheep in 3 minutes. When Dave and I do it, because we have to, because sometimes sheep get injured and you have to shear them, it takes us 3 hours. So it makes great sense to pay somebody to come in and shear the sheep for you. He also does a wonderful job. The other people that are here are all volunteers, and some have never worked with sheep at all before, and some of them have never given shots before, and some of them have never touched wool before. But some of them are experts at it. And then a couple of them just came for the ride. The kids, I think, will learn a lot. They will learn to feed sheep, they will learn to bottle feed lambs, they will learn to skirt fleeces. Probably 10 or 15 people worked at skirting. We spread the fleeces out on a table and then take out the pieces that have dirt in them, the pieces that have manure in them, the pieces that have hay, all the dirty parts. People buy wool from me, they buy fleeces. That's what you call the wool just after it comes off the sheep. And then we bag it up and I take it into the house and I skirt it again, just to make sure it's really, really clean. If I get through the whole year and I haven't sold those fleeces, I take them to the spinning and carding mill and they turn them into yarn for me. And I really love haiku. Haiku is a Japanese form of poetry that has 17 syllables. The first line is 5 syllables, the second line is 7 syllables, the third line is 5 syllables. And it's supposed to be about nature and about sort of an aha moment. You set up a story and then you solve it in those 17 syllables. And I decided that I was going to write one haiku a day. And I started writing haikus about the farm. I called that book To Farm is to Hope because it was part of a haiku. And the reason I said that is because every time you turn around at a farm, something's going wrong. And so a lot of the stuff that I wrote in my books is about the hard parts of lambing, the thing that makes it hard to do. And the only way that you can keep doing it year after year after year is if you can hope. You know, you hope for those days when the lambs are all healthy, and you hope for those days when the fleeces are beautiful. And that's what I want to share with the people that come is, you know, these are wonderful things, and why I called my last book To Farm is to Hope. Dave and I are 77, and everybody's saying, when are you going to stop raising sheep? But we somehow just keep doing it. And as long as we can hire kids to help us put up hay, and as long as we can do the work ourselves, I think we're just going to keep doing it because they're so damn cute.
Poetry Out Loud is a high school program that encourages students to learn about poetry while they master public speaking skills and build self-confidence. Leah Hochhalter from Valley City High School is the 2025 North Dakota Poetry Out Loud state champion.
We've always been out looking for answers, telling stories about ourselves, searching for connection. I've always been involved in all of the arts. I used to call myself the biggest nerd in the school. All the arts activities I was in, so dance, student congress, student council, band, choir, show choir, jazz band, speech, theater. I've just always been drawn to the art of performing. Poetry Out Loud is a poetry competition where people memorize and then recite and interpret poetry from many different poets. So we scour the source of Poetry Out Loud for poems that speak to us and then memorize them and then recite them in front of an audience and in front of judges. I had to do it my senior year for a class, and then I advanced to my school's competition, won that, advanced to the state competition, and now here I am. The judges looked for my understanding of the poem, so understanding the interpretation of the poem and how I understood the message and the meaning behind the author's words. They also looked for intonation, memorization, and truth to the poet. And then I also paid close attention to the placement of words and commas and punctuation and where the lines split, because in poetry, a line split is there intentionally, thinking about when to take a space or a pause. The 3 poems I chose had a lot of chances where I could speak the line many different ways, and each time I spoke it differently, it could completely change the meaning. I think my biggest strength is being able to recognize the line between theatrics and not, and so that ability to recognize that might be too theatrical, bring it back, is a very strong one. I've been in speech since I was in 7th grade, so I still get very nervous, but performing in front of people isn't what makes me nervous. It's the art form and making sure I'm doing it to the best of my ability and to be truthful to the integrity of the art. This summer, everyone left for the moon, even those yet to be born. And the dead who can't vacation here, but met us all there, by the veil between worlds. I choose them from the Poetry Out Loud site, and the way I did it is probably unconventional, but it worked because I love the 3 poems I did end up choosing. I went to the random poem option where you can just click a button to get a random one, and I liked doing it because I could just click, read through it, see if I liked it or not, and then click for a new one if I didn't.
Representing North Dakota Poetry Out Loud for 2025, the state champion is Leah Hochhalter from Valley City High School.
I'm very grateful and shocked, but I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity and the chance to perform. And then not just perform, but get to listen to all these other people from other schools that understand poetry and look at poems the way I do. It was really cool to be in a room full of artists and poets. I shot an arrow into the air. It fell to earth I knew not where. For so swiftly it flew, the sight could not follow it in its flight. In everyday thinking, we do math, we do English, we do science, but we sometimes don't think deeper. We just use the surface level of everything. But with poetry out loud and then just poems in general, you can really unlock that part of your brain and think, what is this meaning? And the beauty of poetry is that not every line, not every interpretation is going to be the same. Everybody's interpretation of the meaning behind a poem could be slightly different, and that's really cool.
From falling apart?
My third poem was Listening in Deep Space by Diane Thiel, and I just really got drawn to that because lately I've just been really drawn to the stars because I've lost friends, and when I look up there, I think of them. It makes me feel nice to know that I have them with me. That was the first reason I got drawn to that. And then just really looking at the lyrics and the stanzas, I loved the way that Diane Thiel wrote the poem and just the connection she made from humans to the beyond, the stars, and talking about connecting with each other. All the poems I choose, I really choose them because they have a deeper meaning than just the surface meaning, and so I love being able to dig a little deeper. Listening in Deep Space by Diane Thiel. We've always been out looking for answers, telling stories about ourselves, searching for connection, choosing to send out Stravinsky and whale song, which, in translation, might very well be our undoing instead of a welcome. We launch satellites, probes, telescopes, unfolding like origami, navigating geomagnetic storms, major disruptions, rovers with spirit and perseverance mapping the unknown. We listen through large arrays adjusted eagerly to hear the news that we are not alone. Considering the history at home, in houses, across continents, oceans, even in quests armed with good intentions, what one seeker has done to another. What will we do when we find each other?
Nestled on the western side of Minnesota, the Grant County Historical Museum and Veterans Memorial Hall is filled with artifacts and memories from the past that tell the story of the state's rich history.
Just because we're a small rural county doesn't mean important things don't happen here. Grant County was formed in 1868. It was pieced off from Stevens County at the time. It was finally organized in 1873. The towns in Grant County include Elbow Lake, the county seat, Herman, which was the first community settled, Hoffman, Barrett, Wendell, Ashby, Norcross, and Erdahl, which is an unincorporated village. The Historical Society started in 1938. In the 40s, the Historical Society received the bequeath of a farm, and using income that they received from that farm, in 1958 they decided to build a museum. In 1959, this plot of land was given to the Historical Society by the city of Elbow Lake, and the museum was built in 1959, and it wasn't until September of 1961 when it was actually open to the public. The artifacts here cover prehistoric times to even with the more modern era with the uniforms and things from the most recent conflicts, Afghanistan, Iraq, and those conflicts. But 1880s to 1940s is probably the predominant eras that we cover here. The prehistoric includes mammoth bones, pre-contact Indian artifacts, the pioneer times, pioneer household goods, transportation items, buggies, sleighs, wagons, old vehicles, and things like that, and farm machinery and tools. The ox cart, of course, is one of our favorite artifacts that we have here. The ox cart is the oldest and crudest ox cart known to exist in the state of Minnesota. The one-room schoolhouse was brought over in 1971. It was located between Elbow Lake and Ashby, and it gives us an example of what the one-room schoolhouses were like that were scattered throughout the county. I also really like the model of Fort Pomme de Terre that we have in the Veterans Hall, showing what the fort looked like back in the 1860s when it was there. The Veterans Hall was added in 2007, 2008. We had military items kind of scattered here and there in different cases throughout the museum, but no one place for a good exhibit. We decided to go to the Elbow Lake Legion to get some advice on how could we display this. The Legion had some money stocked away, and they thought that a good investment would be adding on to our museum. It's just been a great addition. People are very impressed with it. Veterans especially really like it. People have gotten more curious as to where their ancestors came from. Our museum was one of the early ones recognizing genealogy and the popularity of it before it was even popular. Back in the 70s and 80s, they had volunteers going through the newspapers and making up card files with the obituaries and the marriages. We have all the county newspapers, mostly the Grant County Herald, Herman Review, Hoffman Tribune. We also have most of those on microfilm, so they get used a lot with people doing genealogy. We have a number of photographs, boxes of photographs. I get comments that all the time that we have just a wonderful museum. One of the things I hear a lot is they didn't realize how big it was when they first walked in, because when you see it from the highway, you just see the front of it. It doesn't look like it would be that big, not realizing that it goes all the way down the whole block. So they're impressed with the size of it and just what we have. I hope people will come away with a sense of what the history is for Grant County and how people lived and how hard it was, too, a little bit for the people that lived during the early years. It's important that people learn history and so they can learn from history and realize that things aren't as easy as they are now for them. They're not growing up in a time where you didn't have electricity in the house or a bathroom in the house. It's important that they learn it so they can appreciate what they have.
Nicole Jasperse is a singer-songwriter originally from Moorhead, Minnesota, who blends folk and rock music with a unique style of fingerpicking. Nicole writes songs that stem from her travels and life experiences, and she enjoys performing with fellow musicians who she's known since middle school.
Someone asked me my biggest fear, and I couldn't decide between drowning in spiders and car accidents and heights. But if I'm honest, it's none of those. It's something further inside, a cavity in to my chest, so it took me a while to realize. When I grow up, I'm afraid I'll be an expert on taxidermy, 'cause I'm really good at keeping dead things next to me. Someday will I have to lie to say I wanted my life to go this way. And what if it's my own fault, just the way I am, the way I am. What if I turn 80 years old with nothing to show for it? No souvenirs on my shelves and an untouched bucket list. My apartment only has one resident, still sleeping on a twin bed. No visitors, no light on the porch, no reason to stay up past 10. So I'll flip through my empty scrapbooks, dust off my vacant picture frames. It isn't dying that scares me at all, no, no, it's dying alone. When I grow up, I'm afraid I'll be an expert on taxidermy, 'cause I'm really good at keeping dead things next to me. Someday will I have to lie to say I wanted my life to go this way. And what if it's my own fault, just the way I am, the way I am. I'm a taxidermist. And what if it's my own fault, just the way I am, the way I am.
If you know of an artist, a topic, or an organization in our region that you think would make for an interesting segment, please contact us at prairiemosaic@prairiepublic.org.
You can watch this and other episodes of Prairie Mosaic on Prairie Public's YouTube channel and follow Prairie Public on social media as well. I'm Matt O'Lean.
And I'm Barb Gravel. Thank you for joining us for another edition of Prairie Mosaic. Prairie Mosaic is funded by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund with money from the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4th, 2008, the North Dakota Council on the Arts, and by the members of Prairie Public.